Now, as we're discussing about, a lot of the challenges organizations face when it comes to data management, I'd love to also learn more about Capital One Slingshot, right? So maybe walk us in a bit more detail what Capital One Slingshot aims to solve. In a lot of ways, the challenges that we're discussing here today were challenges faced by Capital One, right?
Yeah.
So I'd love to learn, how Capital One Slingshot aims to solve a lot of these challenges.
Before I get into Capital One, the slingshot, I want to explain the concept of optimization. Uh, One of the things that happens in the cloud is that when you are on premise, your data platform costs are pretty much static, right? You buy a certain number of servers, and then you have some constraint on how much you can use, but the cost doesn't fluctuate until you buy a bigger server or expand. And it took 4 to 5 months to do that. But when you move to the cloud, for the first time, cost is now dependent on how you use it and how much you use it, right? So the more compute you use, the more queries you run, the more your cost is going to be, right? And what that means is there's a room for a lot of inefficiencies that you had probably had in the old environment, but it didn't affect your cost. It affected your performance, but it didn't affect your cost. But now it does affect your cost. So what Slingshot does is it tries to help you optimize your cost. But the way it does is in a few steps, right? In first is it provides you the visibility into your cost. Where are the costs spiking? Are the costs high, low, all that. Second, it gives you near real-time alerts and insights into the cost drivers. So, the last thing you want to do is wait until a month-end bill comes and realize that you had one query running for 30 days, a runaway query. So you want to know about that as quickly as possible. Then the last one is you not everyone is going to be an expert in Snowflake to know how to optimize their queries or optimize their server configuration. So what we try to do is we try to recommend you when we give you we find any inefficiencies, we try to give you a recommendation on this is why we're seeing the inefficiency and this is exactly what you can do, or give you a couple of options. And then in the tool allow you to make the changes to your settings, right? And all three together allows you to not only save cost, remove inefficiencies, but also get everything that happens in the server in the Snowflake environment is basically all well managed and well governed, because we also have uh, uh, a way for you to provision resources, change resources, all through approval process and the proper tagging. So it's well managed, well governed as well.